The first movie I remember seeing is E.T. at a drive-in with my mom and my cousin, and we sat on top of the car with our popcorn buckets and Care Bear matching sweatpant outfits, and I was so excited. The first movie I went to on a date, I didn't have a lot of dates, and actually even when you ask that question and I think of dating in high school, I get red because I spent the whole movie, I'm sure I don't even remember, what movie it was, because I spent the whole time wondering, like, is he going to hold my hand? So I don't remember. I did grow up quite a bit in the public eye because I started at 17. The level of attention has definitely increased in the last couple of years. So early on, my attention wasn't really on that. Movies were such a highlight in Ohio. I mean, there's not a great deal to do, and sports are pretty much what you do there. I started acting when I was young. I started taking dancing class when I was about 13, which is kind of old to start taking dancing. And I was part of a dancing group, and we went to dance conventions a couple times a year. My mom made costumes, and she made the costumes for our Grease number. So she did the sequin jackets and the satin or the taffeta skirts, and for about 60 girls. She's a good mom. It was my second or third audition in Los Angeles, and when you come from the Midwest and you go out for a pilot season, and I was 16 at the time, I knew that it wasn't as though, oh, well, if I don't get anything this year, I'll just come back next year. It was a little bit more serious for me because I didn't have a job. I was basically saying, Dad, do you mind could you float me some cash, and hopefully I'll get a job out there. And so I had a lot of pressure that I put on myself. All my sons, I'm not going to lie, when we started at the Schoenfeld Theater, I was very, very nervous, and I had a hard time the first week even looking out into the audience, just because, well, I just didn't want everyone to judge, I went to an all-girls academy, which I loved because, we wore uniform, and, we really supported each other, and we had a lunch table that was meant for 6 girls, and we stuffed about 25 around the table, and we all helped each other learn physics and calculus and all those subjects that, frankly, we didn't think were necessary at the time. But we got each other through it while looking at, YM magazine and 17, and, making sure our priorities were in order. Yeah, I have one older brother. He's 9 years older than me, and it was great because when he's a lawyer, and when he came back to Toledo to go to law school, so he moved back in with us, and I was 14. We had a lot of great conversations. He would talk to me about, law school and the pressures, and I would talk to him about 8th grade, and mostly he would make fun of me if I had a crush on somebody. But he'd always said to, just find somebody that I could really talk to, was his big words of advice. Yeah, I would like to do an action film. I think it would be very challenging. I'd be very sore. The hardest thing about being Batman's girlfriend was I wanted to do more fighting myself. The suit would be very uncomfortable. That would be very uncomfortable, but it would be fun to sort of kick some ass.